Welcome back to the table. It's time for Top of Texas Beer Review number 3. For this, the week of January 25th, 2016. And we're on to a Texas beer for today. I went to my local bottle shop. I asked the manager, I said, what's your favorite beer brewed in Texas? Just out of curiosity. He wasn't hesitant. He said, my favorite beer brewed in Texas as of right now is Revolver, Blood, and Honey. So I went back to the fridge, I looked at the packaging, and the first thing I saw was that Revolver, Blood, and Honey is an American wheat ale. It says so on the bottle. So I wasn't terribly impressed. It's hard for me to get excited about wheat ales. Now I do like a traditional Belgian wit. In fact, some of my favorite beers are traditional Belgian wits. But as far as American wheat ales, I just don't get excited about the idea of enjoying one. I was apprehensive about buying the 6-pack, but I did it anyway. Right next to the Blood and Honey was Revolver's IPA. I was like, well, maybe that would be a good first impression from the brewery. The brewery, by the way, is in Granbury, Texas, a small North Texas community to the southwest of Fort Worth. So what's the big news of this week in January 2016? Well, if you live in the mid-Atlantic states, if you live on the East Coast, you're still digging out from an incredible blizzard that occurred over the weekend. And there's word in the beer world that in the state of Virginia, they are considering expanding a current corkage law, a law that currently allows you to take wines into restaurants. Looks like they're going to expand that to perhaps include ciders and craft beers. So more leniency is being given, more attention is being given to the desires of the craft beer drinker. In fact, there may be more of those than there are wine drinkers in the United States. So let's grab the church key and let's open up this Revolver, Blood, and Honey. Now, I will say this, and I don't often say this, but I was looking at this through the light earlier. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't like sediment in your beer, what you see through the bottle might be a little bit off-putting. If you are going to share this with someone who perhaps doesn't have a well-developed craft beer palate, I would probably forego letting them peer through the bottle. I would just pour them a glass and perhaps try not to bring attention to just how much in the way of hazy, yeasty sediment there is here. So let's open up this bottle and see what we have. This is a Texas beer. This is Revolver, Blood, and Honey. It's a beautiful straw to gold color. A nice dense white head, ideal in size, fantastic in retention. And if you like that unfiltered haze, this beer absolutely delivers. Effervescent with some carbonation in there. It's a absolutely beautiful beer in a glass. The sediment is definitely there. My recommendation to you, anything that is bottle conditioned, you always want to swirl the last few ounces before you pour those final ounces into your glass. Aroma. The blood orange immediately hits you. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I did want to mention what we do see, in fact, on the bottle, not necessarily in the bottle, but on the bottle. Revolver, Blood and Honey American Ale, an ale brewed with blood orange peel, honey, and spices. Has what appears to be a brew date there. A little further reading on the label suggests unfiltered deep golden ale brewed with malted two-row barley and wheat, finished with blood orange peel, Texas honey, and a blend of spices. Again, we have an ideal head, nicely retained, nice and dense, a beautiful white color in contrast to the straw color of the ale. You immediately get the orange peel, a little bit of honey there, some coriander, but the aroma is definitely the aroma is big and citrusy. Smells really good. Let's taste it. Yeah. Citrusy, but not necessarily sweet. In fact, I would say a little bit dry, creamy. I will say that the mouthfeel for the style is above average. The orange peel really starting to come through. And I'm not talking the flavor of an orange that you would eat, but I think we've all accidentally gotten a little bit of peel or zest in our mouth from time to time, and this is the flavor that dominates the arrival and stays through the development of this beer. Again, mouthfeel is above average. We still have a nice layer of head there, again offering a nice viewing experience. See if we can pick up some honey. Not much. Not much. But the orange flavor really helps this wheat ale out. No sign of hops here. We know that wheat tends to cancel out a hop signature. So rarely are you ever going to get any hoppiness or hoppy aromas in a wheat beer. But all in all, this is very good. I never, until now, never got terribly excited about wheat beers. I've been a craft beer drinker for a long time, and some of my early introductions to craft beer included Boulevard unfiltered wheat. That was so long ago that I had to drive into Oklahoma to get it. You couldn't get Boulevard beer in Texas then. So I would go up to Lawton, Oklahoma, or if I were in Oklahoma City, I would get Boulevard unfiltered wheat, chalk beer, and some other wheat beers, and it was a nice start. But I honestly thought I was kind of beyond wheat beers. I was ready for something a little more full-bodied and in your face, and dare I say interesting. But I have to say, this might prove to be a game changer for me, in the same way that Prairie Okie was a game changer for me for brown ales. This is very, very good. Based on style, I would say this is 4.25 to 4.5 out of 5. This is a pleasant surprise. This is not a beer I was looking for. This is not a style that I commonly get excited about, but I benefited from placing faith in another beer drinker's opinion, and I found a beer that I'm going to enjoy and buy for many years to come. And it's a wonderful introduction to Revolver. I'm excited to sample some more of their other brews and other offerings. And Granbury isn't too far away, so maybe worth a visit to check out what the good folks at Revolver are doing. This is an excellent wheat beer. Some people will order a Blue Moon, get a slice of orange. Well, that's a point in the right direction, but this accomplishes so much more. It's a wonderful combination of those two flavors, but this is far better in its appearance, its delivery, and just the entire drinking experience. So I give this, why don't we call it 4.5 out of 5 stars. An excellent beer from Revolver Brewing in Granbury, Texas. Remember, I want to know what your favorite Texas and Oklahoma beers are. I would be particularly excited about beers that perhaps aren't so well known, and beers that a lot of folks aren't reviewing. I'd love to hear from you. Well, here's to you, and cheers to you on your draft beer adventure.